this week's Goddess Energy Forecast, where each week we share with you divine guidance on where you need to place your attention, your focus, your energy, and also bring through frequencies to help you heal, to inspire you, to empower you, and to uplift you. Here's your host, Abigail Mensah-Bonsu, with this week's Goddess Energy Forecast.
Hello, lovelies. Hello. Welcome to this week's Goddess Energy Forecast. First of all, goodness, there's so much going on. There are so many energies converging to really help us to open up and realign to our North Star, to our true North Star. And this process might feel painful. If you feel like your life has been turned upside down during this time, first of all, I want to start with this. You are not alone. You are not alone. You're being redirected at this time. And what is needed of you, what is being asked of you, is to pay attention to how you're being invited to redirect. Are you seeing the signs and the synchronicities? Are you paying attention to the nudges? Or are you going to wait till you receive that cosmic pim slap, I call it, the cosmic 4x4 that just moves you to where you need to be? We don't, part of this Goddess Energy Forecast, these weekly forecasts, is to help you open up so you can see these little nudges that are constantly coming in to help you redirect or open up or see what it is that you need to see in order to move forward, so that you don't need that cosmic pimp slap or the cosmic 4x4. Because if you're listening and you're taking the steps and you're saying yes to the invitations, then the universe doesn't have to give you the cosmic 4x4, because you're listening and you're taking the steps. So this week, we are in a very powerful time. And I told you this, that from now all the way moving into next year, this huge amount of spiritual energy is really coming to help us awaken, expand, and recenter. And when I say recenter, it's like coming home to the true self, which it requires us to also align to our true north. What is our true north? Our true north is who we really are, whether you call that your higher self or the divine, or whatever that is, like that unlimited self, the self that knows all, is the heart of source, is divine, is divinity, is realigning to the truth. I'm really getting this keyword of truth. What is your truth? What is the truth that is resounding in your world? And what truths are emerging in our world? All of these keys are coming up. So here's the thing. This week, we have the Lioness or Lion's Gateway. The Lioness and Lion Gateway 8-8 portal. And there's a lot of things coming up about this portal. Most of the ones that you hear is a portal of abundance, which it is. It's also a portal of, I think abundance is the one that gets hyped up the most. And I usually tell my students this: the number 8 is connected to abundance, yes, but here's the thing: the abundance comes in when you find your self-worth and empower yourself. That is the magic of 8. 8 requires you to be empowered and move from that place of empowerment, speaking your truth from this place, and then from there the abundance will flow in. So if you are on a life path 8, like I am, or you have 8 anywhere, whether it's your human design or gene keys or astrology, this is usually asked of you. when I was reading about being a life path 8, which is mine, oh yeah, numerology too. I didn't mention numerology. When you're looking at your personal year numbers and also the universal year numbers, the number 8 holds this frequency of self-empowerment, self-worth, truth, and then abundance. Right? So there's a there's a reason why August is 8 and the lioness and lion gateway comes in at this time. Step into your truth. Open up your voice. Speak your truth. But before you speak that truth, make sure that truth is anchored within your solar plexus, within your power. And you allow that power to roar through your voice. Speak with conviction. So I'm seeing this activation come through this week. And we'll come back to the 8-8 portal. So we have the 8-8 portal. We have Venus in retrograde, which is another theme that is coming in very powerfully. Venus is the planet of romantic relationships. It's the planet of beauty, of creativity, of money, material wealth, right? And when this planet goes retrograde, now this is the part that is coming in very strongly for this weekly goddess energy forecast. The highlights relationship this time, right? And so what I've noticed that when Venus goes into retrograde, a lot of relationships start to get rocky. Because Venus going into retrograde gives us the opportunity to deal with the things that need to be healed and released in our relationships so that we can have a solid foundation. Right? So anything in the relationship that has been, swept under the rugs, the rug gets taken off and everything gets kicked up. And it's like you have no choice but to work on your relationship. Well, what am I looking for? The things that you need to work on in your relationship. So if it is communication issues, right? Guess what's going to arise at this time? And remember, Venus is in retrograde till, let's see here, September 3rd. And I'm even getting, I'm seeing this romantic relationships because I think there's a purpose for that. That's being highlighted at this time. Because I wanted to say all relationships, including partnership, but I'm really seeing this dynamic of romantic relationships, a romantic partnership. So whatever it is that needs to be worked on in a relationship is getting kicked up at this time so that it can be faced, it can be healed, decisions can be made, right? If you choose to work on it, if you and your partner chooses to work on it, then you get to build a stronger foundation, and you also get to create a better legacy for the future generations that come through you. But if you choose not to do the work, then there's another choice that comes with that. You can go your separate ways. You can choose a different kind of connection or no connection at all. Venus gives us these invitations. Every time it goes into retrograde, it's like, are you ready to do the work in your relationship? Let's do this. And I think it's very important to know this, right? Because when you understand that when Venus goes into retrograde, it gives us this invitation, then you become aware of the invitations that come through during the retrograde. You begin to understand why certain things are coming up all of a sudden. It's not all of a sudden, it's just not hidden anymore. So that communication, you being afraid to speak your truth, again, with that theme of the truth, all of a sudden it's like you're being forced to roar. And you roar and it's like, oh my God. Where did that come from, right? Especially this week, I'm really getting that. And thanks to the Lion and Lioness Gateway portal. Relationships are being highlighted. Speaking your truth. Being honored in your each partner being honored in that sacred unionship. I was talking to a friend and I was telling him about how, you get two people who are completely different, two different backgrounds, somehow finding each other to come together, and they're trying to create this life together. And I think what usually happens is that it's like, okay, we need to come together and be one. And the aspect of the individuation kind of gets shunned in a way, or put aside, not honored. There we go. Not honored. But the truth is that our individuation, what makes us an individual, there's gems in that brought the two together. And we need to continue to honor that. We need to continue to nurture that, because that is what is going to enrich the relationship. And most relationships, like that individuation, I don't even know if I'm using the right word, but what makes you, usually is like, oh no, that can't be. You cannot be yourself if you want to be in this relationship. And so you find one partner is shut down, the other one is, like in control, like it just not balanced, right? Venus will kick it up. Venus will send you an invitation to bring balance through you finding yourself and bringing yourself into the relationship. You need to be you. You need to be you. There's so many people who are afraid to show their true selves because they're afraid that their partners will leave them or their partners will not accept them. And I get it. It is scary. But you will never know until you actually show yourself. If that partner is the right one for you, they will embrace you, even if they're scared. Right? If they're not, they will try to control your fire. They will try to make you feel like you're crazy, like you shouldn't do that, right? Or they're going to leave. But it's very important for you to be 100% you. You need to honor yourself. Nobody else can come in and honor you. You need to do that. When you honor yourself, when you say yes to you, you're giving others the permission to do the same for you. It's the same as, like when you respect yourself, you give other people, what word am I looking for? The word just disappear. You give them the permission to also respect you. When you love yourself, you give others the permission to also love you. But it begins with you. Whatever it is that you're looking for through your partner needs to come through you. First and foremost. So, are you yourself in your relationship? Are you yourself unapologetically? You are beautiful. You were created in that uniqueness for a reason. And that uniqueness that you are needs to come out. We need to experience that beauty of your uniqueness. And I know it is scary, but it is time. If you want to meet the right people, you need to be you. All of you. I'm talking about light and shadow. All of you. And when you show up, you show up as all of you. First of all, it sets you free. You have nothing to hide. You show up. This is who I am. Take it or leave it. I don't really care. I'm going to be me. But me showing up as me gives you also the permission to also show up as you. Whatever invitations you're being that is being extended to you at this time during this Venus retrograde. If you choose to do the work, it will pay off. If you choose to do the work. And I say choose because we have a choice. That's part of being human. We get to choose to do the work, or we get to choose not to. But each of our choices will lead us to a certain path. And that path is like whether or not that's where you want to be is all dependent on your choices. So I also wanted to point out, like we're talking about Venus retrograde. Mercury's about to go retrograde later on in the month. But we also have other planets in retrograde at this time. The bigger planets who do like the deeper work. There's a lot of people doing deeper work at this time because of these massive planets, right? We know about Mercury retrograde. It's just a short amount, a couple of weeks, right? Done. There's the inner planets and the outer planets. The outer planets are the bigger ones. They're the ones that last for months. That's where we really do the deeper work. And we have Pluto in retrograde till October 10th. We have Saturn in retrograde till November 4th. We have Neptune in retrograde till December 6th. Venus, of course, in retrograde till the 3rd. And then Chiron. Remember last week I talked about Chiron, the wounded healer. Was it last week or the week before, right? In retrograde till December 26th. Chiron, Neptune, Saturn, Pluto. All of them are big planets. They're big influences. When they go retrograde, that means we're doing the bigger, heavy work. So if you feel like your gut is being wrenched at this time, you are not alone. You're not alone. We are doing the deeper work. We're doing the deeper healing. And through the deeper healing, if you did choose to do the work, if you did choose to let go, to heal, to be wise, to find the wisdom through the journey, actually that's the result. We gain more wisdom. We gain more clarity on who we are, who we truly are, why we're here, how we're here to be of service. All of those answers, all of those doorways begin to open up for us. All the hardships are invitations for us to open up even more, to allow our true self and our unique light to pour forth. This is a message that came to me last week, and it has to do with pain and suffering. Usually when we're moving through some kind of pain or suffering, we can't wait to move out of it. And either we rush through it or we pretend it's not existing. We sweep it under the rug, or we try to cover it up through substances, through overworking out, through food, like whatever it is. We're always trying to hide away from pain and struggle. The message that came through this week from my guides for me, as I was going through my own pain and suffering, was this, that what they said was like, there's no decisions to make at this time as you're going through the pain. You don't need to make any decisions. All you need to do is just be fully present with the pain. Be fully present with the suffering. Breathe through it. Breathe into it. And as you breathe into the pain of what is unfolding within you, it opens up your heart. It cracks your heart open. And it moves your heart frequency to the next level. But this only happens when we welcome, not welcome as in like invite pain in, but when you're going through your own pain, when you're moving through your own suffering. Because one of the prerequisites of being human is experiencing pain and suffering. And there are many degrees to this, right? There are many degrees to the type of pain and suffering that we choose to experience as human beings. But as we're moving through our own pain and suffering, give it space. Just sit with it. This is how I'm feeling right now. It is very uncomfortable. I'd rather not feeling, but I am moving through it. I'm going to breathe through it. Look up breathing exercises, breath work. Breath work has a way of dislodging emotional blockages within your body. But it also involves your body. Here's the thing. Because when you don't face pain, it gets stored within your body. It gets stored within your body. Eventually, it can even move into your DNA, which can be passed to the future generations, who will also be invited to work through that or break through that chains. We are here now because we are the chain breakers. But it requires us to face the hard stuff. We're breaking through the hard stuff so that our future generation don't have to. We're saying it stops with us. It stops here. But it requires us to have grace in our suffering, in our pain. Again, you are not alone. The past month, actually, I have been in deep communion with the divine, with my guides, with the angels and the archangels. And I take it one day at a time. And each day I wake up, I ask for support. I ask for assistance. And I ask for guidance. And I call in grace into myself. So, again, we have a choice, right? We can pray that we never experience pain and suffering, which, if that was the case, you wouldn't be here as a human being. Being human is part of the prerequisite. Actually, it's part of the curriculum of being human, is to experience pain and suffering. And what I realize is this: when I give the pain space, when I breathe through it, it opens up a way. It opens up a way to clarity. It opens up a way to more love. It opens up my heart to more love. And when I say love, I'm not talking about human love here. I'm talking about that unconditional love that nothing around you really affects. It is not dependent on anything that is around us. It's just simply is. Have you ever felt the feeling of your own love, but not because of someone? Yeah, I have. If you have, let me know. Like, send me a message. This is the unconditional love that I'm talking about. It breaks your heart open so that you can be attuned to that higher love. Don't be afraid to take that pain and bring it in front of you and really look at it and breathe into it and have compassion and grace for yourself and calling grace to bless you, to be with you. Work with the divine mothers. No wonder today I wanted to bring in that divine feminine energy to really support us this week. Work with the divine mothers who've done this. The divine beings, the angels, the archangels, call them in to come help you. We have plenty of resources to help us through, but we need to choose to move through these challenging experiences and also call in divine enforcements. Really utilizing your divine team, utilizing your connection with the divine Father, divine Mother, with your own higher self. Call in reinforcements from every corner as you're moving through that pain. You're not meant to do it by yourself. But once you know this, hopefully you open up the doorway for your divine team to come in and support you. Okay, so we know later on this week, actually it's going to be, let's see, 8/8. It's on Tuesday. So on Tuesday, we're starting the week off with a very powerful portal, really inviting us to tap into our inner power, to really go into that solar plexus and tap into that solar light within, that power. And from there, bring it into our throat, activating our true voice, and then bring through our truth from that place. We're also being invited to really sit with our challenges, our pain, and our suffering. Contemplating it, call it in reinforcement, breathing through it so that the path can open up for you, so that the pain and the suffering can begin to dissolve. We have to be present with it. And when we choose to move through it, when we choose to breathe through it, when we choose to have grace and compassion for ourselves as we're moving through these challenging times, we become wiser. And we also create codes within our DNA that gets passed on to the future generation. What a blessing. We're doing the work right now. But our children, their children, and their children will get to benefit from it. Now, they will have their own challenges, right? But at least they don't have to work with ours. They will be free from it. Just as we have learned to free ourselves. And that wisdom of how we freed ourselves gets passed on to them, so that when it is time for them to also face their own pain and suffering, they will have the tools to move through it much quicker than we did. What a blessing. So this week, have grace for yourself. The rose is coming in to really help us this week. And of course, when the rose drops in, you know, the whole sisterhood of rose, they're all dropping in. The divine mothers, Mother Isis, Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary, Kuan Yin, Green Tara, they're all coming in to support us. We are getting reinforcement. So if you're moving through some heavy stuff this week, you are held. You are held, you are held, and you are loved. Remember that. Keep moving through. You have chosen to break through this, and you will break through. It is not fun. It's not all love and light as you're moving through the darkness. But remember, you are the light in the darkness. You are the light in the darkness. All right. So go ahead and take in a deep breath in and out. Let's do this a couple of times. Taking a deep breath in and out. Let's do it one more time. Taking a deep breath in, filling your stomach. Breathing into your chest. Let it fill up. And let go, release. Go ahead and place your hand on your heart. One hand on your heart, the other on your stomach, and breathe. As you breathe in, see the breath fill your stomach, moving upward, and then filling your lungs, your chest. And then exhale, releasing from chest to stomach. Go ahead and call in your higher self into your heart if you haven't yet. Bring your awareness into your heart. See that beautiful channel, that beautiful light within your heart. And then from there, go ahead and extend your channel upward. Let it go all the way up until it plugs into the heart of the divine. Open it up. Open up your channel and just let that divine light from the heart of source just pour down onto you and into you. Let it go into your heart, anchor before it continues all the way down your body. It's like liquid golden light pouring down. Open up completely to receive this. And then now send that channel from your heart. This time send it downward, all the way down into the earth. And then let it plug into the heart of the Divine Mother. And again, open it up and receive that emerald green, luscious, healing light. Let it come up through the channel. Let it anchor into your heart and then continue all the way out. And let it spew out all around you. And just receive this emerald green and gold light. Just see those two light within your heart dancing with your own light. The light of your own divinity through your higher self. And see all three lights merge together into one beautiful opalescent light, powerful, magnetic, potent, radiating, and it's just pulsating. Keep breathing into your heart and notice this light kind of explodes out like a supernova, creating a beautiful opalescent bubble of light all around you. Breathe into this space where you're connected to above the heart of the Divine Father, below the heart of the Divine Mother, and your own center as you breathe through your divinity. And then now go ahead and call in your divine teams to surround you in that beautiful golden circle of light, and really breathe into the space of connection, of unconditional love, of balance, of alignment, harmony. Taking a deep breath in here. And go ahead and ask which of these cards for this week is here for my highest good. 1, 2, or 3. There you go. And once you have received your number or numbers, taking a deep breath in again. Breathe into your heart, breathe into your body. And when you're ready, open your eyes. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about is on Sunday, so the end of the week, we have something called a Kazemi. It's a Venus Kazemi. This is where Venus, the beautiful goddess, merges or comes together with the sun. And the image that came through is so delicious. And I was reminded again as I was helping you move through the meditation of connection with the golden light coming down, moving, like pouring into you and around you. And this is what's going to happen on Sunday as Venus moves and, merges with the sun. Venus gets this just it looks like it's like liquid gold pouring all over her, illuminating her, like she stands and she's like radiating in this golden essence that is from the sun. The sun just empowers her, emboldens her, illuminates her. She is the queen goddess on Sunday. Now, I'm sharing this with you because notice what is being activated within yourself. The divine feminine within yourself is going to be exalted this week. What does it look like in your life? Pay attention to that. We are being blessed. This week we're being lifted up by the solar frequency. So here's what I want you to do on Sunday. I want you to take some time, make sure that you go outside and sit in the sun for a little bit. Receive your blessing too. That's what Venus is inviting us. Are you ready to embrace your divine feminine nature, your queen self, your goddess self? That's a theme that's been coming up for me a lot. You know, I work with the goddesses. They're my crew. I know that my spiritual lineage is from the God and Goddess Council. But I realized I hadn't fully embraced myself as a goddess yet. Goddess and queen were two nicknames I had growing up, even before I knew what they meant, right? They've always been with me, but I hadn't truly embraced and embodied me as a goddess. And that's something I've chosen to do. So it's going to be very interesting. Perhaps you're already feeling it, but I stepped into that next level because I am a goddess. That is who I am. And when I say I'm a goddess, this is not about surfacey stuff like, oh, you know, look at me. No. This is about purpose. This is about connection to the divine. This is about divine purpose pouring through. This is about divine gifts that I have, that I've brought through to be of greater service to the whole. This is about the true self emerging. And I am fully embracing her. So I hope that this Venus Cazimi, which is Venus and the Sun coming together on Sunday, I hope that really boosts you into embracing who you are. Whether you're a queen, whether you're a sister goddess too, whether you are a magician, an alchemist, whether you are a fairy, an elf, you know your spiritual lineage. It's time to embrace that. Because through that embrace, you bring through those soul gifts that you are here, that you can use to, that you're here to use to be of greater service to the whole. Taking a deep breath in here. Yes. All right. So are you ready for your messages this week? Again, I am using the Rose Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. I love this deck. I love all her decks. There's this gentleness and gracefulness that pours out of her decks. I know she has another deck. It's the Water Oracle or something. I haven't gotten that one yet. But the Rose one really called me in. I'll put the link for you if this card deck calls to you and you would like to get your own. I'll put the link below so you can go get your own. Okay. All right. So if you received one, your card, it says release the petals. This week is about transformation, death and rebirth, shedding, and all change. Right? Right in alignment with the messages coming through. So here is your message for this week. There comes a point where we can't go back. In a seemingly fleeting moment, the road that led us here is suddenly impossible to access. There's a sinking knowing that things will never be the same. A death, a birth, a loss, a growth, an ending, a discovery. No matter how hard you try, things are different now. You are different now. The world's different now. What's been seen cannot be unseen. There's no going back. Something new beckons you forth. This is a card of change and transformation. Courage is required for the rebirth to happen. Abscission is the shedding of various parts of an organism, such as a plant dropping a leaf, flower, fruit, or seed. The rose hip knows, the phoenix does too, that we need to surrender what was to the earth to one day be transformed anew. We can grasp the petals of the past as the changing wind blows. But eventually we'll discover that change is coming. Change is near. Change is already here. And while what once was is no longer, and what soon will be is not yet, it's time to release your petals to the wind with wild abandon for the chance to begin again. To offer what once was to the wind and let it nourish the seeds within. It is time to surrender so the transformation can happen. Had the rose not released its petals, the rose hip would not have come to be. When we gather the courage to release what was, we are greeted by the fruits of the future. Here's your soul inquiry for the week. What are you clinging to for fear of nothing coming to take its place? What are you clinging to for fear of nothing coming to take its place? Card number 1, release the petals. So if you received card number 1, a great ritual that you can do this week is actually buying roses and removing the petals and going outside and just throwing it into the wind. And as you throw it, actually before you do that, press the petals on your heart, and anything that you know you're ready to release, move it into the petals and then release it into the wind and ask the wind to take it away, to bring lightness to your heart, to bring lightness to your body. If you do it, let me know. That sounded delightful. All right, let's move to card number 2. I love this name. Okay, if you receive 2, your card is the Anointed. And this week is saying that this week it says, answer the call. It's about leadership, empowerment, and soul gifts. Write it again in alignment with the energy of this week, especially with the Lioness Gateway Portal. And just so you know, we're in this energy of 8 all month long. It's just that on 8/8, that's when the energy really crescendos. So we reach the peak of the energy, right? So we're still in this energy like all month long. So if 8/8 passes and you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even acknowledge, I didn't even do anything. Remember, we're in this energy all month long, okay? All right, so let's move into this card. If you receive 2, your card is Anointed, and here's what it says. Rose oil has been used to anoint initiates through the ages. Royalty 2. This card here is here to herald you into an even more powerful expression of what you came here to be and do. It's calling you to step forth into your inner queendom and kingdom. This is my card. I feel it. To answer the greatest call of your soul and face your true north. To seed even more of what you came here to share. To acknowledge your arrival as the initiate of your life. To shed the external noise that may have been stopping you from being all that you already are. To realize that you've been training for this for a long time, perhaps even lifetimes. The path your soul chose to walk is one that few have the courage to walk. And you came here for this. You're being led through this. Your soul is ancient, and every step you've taken in every body you've been planted in, you've gathered a kaleidoscope of gifts that are ready to be shown and shared. You're being called to deeply trust the call that you've been hearing, to lead. The path you're here to pave has not been walked the way you will walk it. And as with all ancient initiates, healers, visionaries, creatives, and leaders, you are just one magnificent thread in the tapestry of life. So go your own way. Trust the road that beckons you forth, and always be led from within. What a powerful message. Like I said, I feel it. So here's our soul inquiry if you receive 2. How are you being called to step forward and lead? How are you being called to step forward and lead? Beautiful. Let's move to the last card. Another beautiful card. Oh, I feel like this is also my card too. So if you receive 3, your card is held. This card this week is about sureness of the soil, unseen help, support, and community. You can't make this up. Everything that I talked about at the beginning about the themes that are coming through for this week and also this month in general. So held, here's your message if you received card number 3. When times are turbulent, to keep ourselves steady, we need something to hold on to. When things are crumbling around us, we must find something we can count on that won't budge. Deep roots to hold us steady when the winds of change come blowing. A supportive community around us. When we leave home, we must find something to hold us. When our lover leaves, we must find something to hold us. When the job ends, we must find something to hold us. When our parents die, we must find something to hold us. When we think there's nothing holding us, it's an invitation to find new supportive ground. When we think there's nothing holding us, it's an invitation to find new supportive ground. This is where we can discover the sureness of the soil, the holding of the roots, and reach out to our community for extra holding. We were never meant to grow on this earth alone. I'm going to repeat that again. We were never meant to grow on this earth alone. Sometimes life rips from us what we cling to the most, or perhaps we cling to it for we can feel the cycles of change coming. Yet in the darkness of our longest, darkest night, we discover that it's in the empty spaces that we can be reached and held the most. Truth. It's in these that we discover a holding that we didn't know before. And we discover that what we thought was a tomb is actually a womb. You're being called to trust that the great mother has got you. To trust in the sureness of her soil. To trust the process of what's unfolding and that you are not going through this alone. Just breathe it in with me. Because it's funny, this is also my card. So my cards are 2 and 3. But what this card is saying, the message from this card is actually something I've experienced. And I'll have to share that story with you next time. But okay, so here is the soul inquiry for us this week. How can you call in more support in your life? And what's holding you right now? How can you call in more support in your life? And what's holding you right now? I can answer this to you right now. What is holding me is the divine. It's my guides. It is the angels and the archangels. It is my higher self. It's divine mother, divine father. They are holding me tightly right now. So who is holding you? What is holding you right now? Taking a deep breath in. I feel like such powerful messages that have come through. And it is no freaking surprise, right? It's such a powerful week. I use this word a lot, right? But again, the number 8 brings in self-empowerment, self-worthiness, truth, and sovereignty. Sovereignty. To thy own self be true. Know thyself. To thine own self be true. Know thyself. This is one of the pillars in my work. Know thyself. All the women that I work with, it's all about knowing who you are, awakening your true self, and fully, unapologetically embodying your true, magnetic, magnificent, beautiful self. That is one of the pillars in my work. So if you feel aligned to work with me, if you're ready to remember who you are and embody who you are unapologetically. We're meant to work together. Send me a message. Let's work together. I would love to work with you. This is what I do. This is my gift, my service to the whole. I've done this many lifetimes. I got this, and I know I can guide you to you. I just want to beam into you so much love this week, especially for those of us moving through some heavy stuff right now. You are being held. You're being loved. You are not alone. You're not alone. Some of us started this journey of moving through the heaviness earlier. Others will be joining in on this journey, right? But just remember, you're not alone. Depending on which card you chose this week, utilize it. Whether you need to release what needs to go, whether you need to tap into, like your calling. What is that calling that is asking you to step into at this time? Whether you're being invited to call in more support as you move through these times. You're not alone. You're not alone. All right, my loves. Have a beautiful, loving week. Embrace all that you are, because you are magnetic. You are magnificent. You are glorious in your unique self. The sooner you get to know you and embrace and embody who you are, the better life will unfold and open up for you. You are meant to be you. Nobody else can be you. Nobody else can do what you do like the way you do it. There's a reason for that. Embrace it. And if you need guidance or help doing that, let's work together. All right. From my heart to yours. Until next time, have a blessed week. Bye, everyone.
Yeah.